Well, for more on the release of Jean-Pierre Bemba, we cross live to our correspondent, Jack Parrow. Jack, tell us what the latest is there.
So we're stood here outside the detention centre in The Hague, where we understand that Jean-Pierre Bemba remains. All that we've had from the International Criminal Court so far as information, is that he is still on ICC property. They won't tell us exactly where he is, but we assume that that is here. We're looking at the vans and the cars as they leave, trying to peer in through the windows to see if he's in one of them. And that's because what essentially is the hold-up is he's waiting for papers to get into Belgium. Once he leaves the ICC detention centre here, he has to be escorted to Belgium, which has accepted him. That's where his family lives. And when he was arrested back in 2008, he was on Portuguese papers. So there needs to be the agreement with Belgium and with the official papers to have him transferred there. Now, Jean-Pierre Bemba is being released since he was acquitted last Friday of war crimes and crimes against humanity, relating to when he sent his MLC troops into the Central African Republic in 2002 and 2003 to essentially quell an attempted coup against the then CAR president Ange Felix Patas. It was alleged for the International Criminal Court, his initial conviction was seen as a real win, as it was the first time that the ICC had convicted someone for sexual-based crimes, ordering the rape and pillaging of civilian populations. But there was a real dispute between the ICC trials chamber and the appeals chamber eventually acquitting him on factual-based evidence that the trials chamber would ordinarily work on. So that set another International Criminal Court precedent. Also, obviously, there's a big concern here, or at least a big set of ramifications, considering that there are elections set in the Democratic Republic of Congo for December. Jean-Pierre Bemba himself being the former vice president and a rival of Joseph Kabila, the sitting president, who Kabila, however, now saying that he will not stand for re-election. We heard from Jean-Pierre Bemba's lawyer saying that he would not speculate on whether Mr. Bemba will be sitting and standing for election in December. Obviously, the priority after 10 years in the detention centre here, he is looking to get back to his family. But we're looking to hear more from him. The International Criminal Court has said that he cannot speak about an ongoing case relating to witness tampering that is still ongoing. The prosecution wants to extend his sentence, which means he could, in theory, return back to the detention centre here for a short 6-month period if his sentence for that series of crimes was extended to the maximum 5 years. But his defence team are arguing that he's been in jail already for 4.5 years on charges that were initially set as a 1-year prison sentence. So watchers are assuming that he will not be sent back here once he is released. But obviously now everybody wants to hear from him. Whether he will not speak because of that block by the court saying he can't talk about the witness tampering trial, whether that means that he chooses not to speak about any of the trials, we'll have to wait and see. We'll only really know then when he's released. The court is saying that we're unlikely to see him as he comes out, and maybe we'll have to be in Belgium to finally see Jean-Pierre Bemba after he's been in prison for 10 years.
All right then, Jack, thanks very much for that roundup on that case. That was our correspondent Jack Parrow reporting from The Hague in the Netherlands.